primary ignition.
Welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and here's my guide to playing Doctor Aphra at your Shadows of the Galaxy pre-release for Star Wars Unlimited's trading card game. If this is one of your first times watching my guides, I want to let you know that the focus here is to look at commons and uncommons that work well with your leader and colors in Shadows of the Galaxy. Yes, there are going to be some good rares and legendaries that fit well with these leaders, but rares and legendaries are going to be few and far between among the 6 packs found in your pre-release kit. So it's a little better to focus more on cards that can really fill out your deck and can be an assist to you in this color scheme and with Dr. Aphra's abilities. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those cards right now. And starting off, we'll look at Dr. Aphra as a leader and a leader unit. Now, as a leader, Dr. Aphra has a static ability that says, when the regroup phase starts, discard a card from your deck. This can already be off-putting to a lot of people, but if you're a fan of Dr. Aphra and really want her to work in your limited format because you have a lot of the stronger cards, or maybe a lot of great cards in her colors, then let's figure out how we can make it work to your benefit. As an epic action, you can deploy Aphra when you control 5 or more resources, which means you can do this as early as turn 4. When she's deployed, she's a 2/5 unit that says, while there are 5 or more different cost among cards in your discard pile, this unit gets +3/+0. Okay, so there's a benefit to having cards go into your discard pile. You can do this one or two ways. You can leave Dr. Aphra out for several more turns and let her continue until she gets so many cards into the discard pile, or you can play a lot of low-level units or events to kind of use those things to take down your opponent's units and move on from there. Now, the benefit here is this makes Dr. Aphra 5/5 when she's in play, which is much better for a leader to come out. But when you deploy Aphra, her when deployed ability reads, choose 3 cards in your discard pile. They must have different names, and if you do, return one of them at random to your hand. So you can get one of those cards back, but that's it. So Dr. Aphra can merely just stay a 5/5 for as long as you have 5 or more different cards in your discard pile, but you are going to take one back. So this is a unit you may not want to put on the field too quickly and just kind of use sparingly when it's the right time. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the yellow cards that are at least work well with Aphra. In this set, we want to make sure, again, we're focusing on low cost cards that we're okay trading with other units to fill in our discard pile. The first one's going to be the strong card, Hunter of the Haxian Brood, a great common that's a ground unit that only costs 3 and is a 4/3 unit. While an enemy unit has a bounty, this unit gains shield, which is pretty cool. So with a lot of bounties in the set, your opponent may be playing some units that already have bounties on them, so you can take advantage of that. Forlom is another good one. At a 4 cost, he's a 4/4 unit with ambush. You can't go wrong with something like that. Being able to take out one of your opponent's units, hopefully, and if Forlom dies, again, this can work in your favor. Treating units with ambush kind of more like defeat events to give you the variety of cost you need to trigger Dr. Aphra's +3 bonus. If you do happen to play Zuckuss, that will work with him as well. Both of them are uncommons. And for one of the strongest uncommon space units in this set, Lurking TIE Phantom is a great one. That's a 3 cost unit. It's a 2/2 with Raid 2, meaning when it attacks for 4. And when it is attacked and is the defender, it's only going to have 2. The great thing about this unit is it cannot be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy card abilities. Your opponent has to swing into this unit in order to deal with it. So let's make that work for us. Next is going to be Ma Klanuki. I probably mispronounced this card, but that's all right. It's a 1 cost event, which is great for Dr. Aphra to have a 1 cost card in your discard pile. And it allows you to return a friendly non-leader underworld unit to its owner's hand. If you do, deal 3 damage to a unit. So for 1, you can do 3 damage to something, and you can save one of your underworld units that possibly were going to die, or maybe you just want to re-trigger one of their wind plate abilities. Enfys Nest is another one. Usually I wouldn't recommend so many high cost cards, but again, with Aphra, you're going to want to have a variety of card cost. And Enfys Nest does give you some great benefits for 6. They're a 5/4 when they come into play and have the ambush ability, and as well as they give all friendly units, including itself, When they attack using their ambush ability, the defender gets -3, -0. So you could really take advantage of playing more ambush units and keeping them alive when they attack their opponent. And last is Chain Code Collector. Has a very similar ability to Emphas Nest because it can protect itself. For 4 costs, you can put out a 4/2 with ambush, and on attack, if the defender does have a bounty, it gives the defender -4 to its power. So it's again, there's a lot of things you hear you can do, but most of it's going to be ambushing with a lot of these cunning cards. In the villain aspects, we see cards like Hunt's Henchman, a 4 cost 3/4 unit with shield, just kind of fits the underworld backdrop here. Next is going to be the Black Sun Starfighter, another 3 cost unit that's a 3/2 with Sentinel. Really a strong one for villains to kind of get a low cost Sentinel unit in the Space Arena this way. I'm a big fan. And next is No Bargain, a 3 cost trick event that makes your opponent discard a card of their choice from their hand, and you get to draw a card. Either way, a lot of these villain cards are a little bit low tier, but you're always going to need something to fill out your deck. You can always expect them to kind of be a little bit generic, as we saw in set 1, and now we're going into set 2, Shadows of the Galaxy. The aggression aspect can work a little bit better for you because there are some more cards in there that are rares and legendaries that really benefit you if they are discarded. Unfortunately, again, I don't want to highlight some of those rares and legendaries, but if you get one, it's great. So one of the uncommons though I do want to look at is Armed to the Teeth. This is a great one because you could resource it down until Doctor Aphra's out, and then you can smuggle it out for 4, put it on Aphra, and giving her +2. This will kind of strengthen her if you're struggling to have so many discard cards in your variety of discard cards in your discard pile. But it'll give you +2, and every time you attack, you can give another unit +2. Next is going to be IG-11, a 5 cost unit that's a 6/5. If this unit would be captured, you can defeat him, deal 3 damage to each enemy ground unit instead. So he is uncapturable. And then on attack, he deals 3 damage to any damaged ground unit. And last is Detention Block Rescue, one of the few direct damage cards in this game for units. It is a 3 cost card that says you can deal 3 damage to a unit, and if they happen to be capturing something, you can deal 6 instead. It's no open fire, but it is worth a slot if you're running aggression. For Vigilance, I'm going to recommend Brutal Traditions. This is a great uncommon that if you can get a couple of these, it'll work a little bit better and because it pairs well with Doctor Aphra. You can always discard this card with Aphra's ability, and you have ways of bringing it back to your hand when you need it. Sorry, or playing it from your discard pile when you need it. It's a 2 cost upgrade that gives your unit +1, +2. As an action, if an enemy unit was defeated this phase, play it from your discard pile, paying the same cost. So I think it's, again, a great one. Hopefully you can get a few of these, but you may only get one out of your 6 packs. Next is Pike Sentinel. Because Dr. Aphra kind of adds a little bit of uniqueness here, I'm a big fan of running low cost Sentinel units, just kind of buy you some time in case you need it, as well as it forces your opponents to hit this unit. You need cards in your discard pile, so make your opponent work for it, right? Like make them work for hitting you, make them hit these Sentinel units, let them feed your discard pile, and make Aphra stronger. And lastly is Rivals Fall here for Vigilance. It's a 6 cost event, definitely the best common event we've seen in the game because it has the ability to defeat any unit that your opponent has on the field. Whether it's the Space Arena, Ground Arena, Leader, or Non-Leader, it will go down to this card. In the command aspect, we're going to look at Outflank. I think Outflank is a great card to kind of pair if you go with command here, because Outflank gives you that ability to cheat, where so far we've only seen it in cards like Rebel Assault and Princess Leia. For 1 resource, you can attack with 2 units one at a time during the same action. So being able to do that's going to allow you to take advantage of the situation, being able to swing on an opponent's base before they can swing on 2 of your units to stop them from hitting the base, letting you take advantage of any weakened characters you have so they can swing before they're destroyed, or get any on attack abilities that you were worried about. I think this card's a great one, and it's works early game or late game. Next is going to be Mercenary Company, a reprint from Spark of Rebellion. It's just a great one for 6. It gives you a 5/5 with Ambush and Overwhelm. I've already talked about Ambush being strong for you, but Overwhelm's really going to help you get there, as all that damage will go over your opponent's health and go immediately to the base, at least any of it that is excess. And last for command is the Weequay Pirate Gang, a 4-cost unit that's a 3/3 with ambush and smuggle. You can smuggle this card for 5 if you would like. So I think it's a good one to put in the resource pile, but I'm not going to, back down from having a 3/3 ambush unit. And last in the non-aspects, we're going to recommend Lady Proxima, just because you are playing a lot of villains, so you're going to be playing mostly Underworld and Bounty Hunter cards. Proxima is going to make sure you're going to get a variety of damage on a base. She's also a 1-cost card, and you want to have a variety of different cost in your discard pile. So making sure you're seeing cards that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be very important. You need a variety, so don't skip out on getting 1-cost cards into your deck. Next is Street Gang Recruiter. You're discarding a lot, so why not play a card that can bring something back to your hand? Street Gang Recruiter for 5 is a 4/4 unit that does exactly that. I think it's just kind of a no-brainer with a card like Doctor Aphra. And lastly, it's just a staple in the non-aspect building, and it's Twin Pod Cloud Car. A 3-cost unit that's a 2/2 with Restore 2. This unit can really do a lot of work over time. It forces your opponent to deal with it because that Restore 2 is definitely a pain to deal with. So this is my guide to playing Doctor Aphra at your local pre-release. I hope that if you do get to play her there, that you have a lot of fun, that you're excited about it, and get some good matches in. Let me know how it goes for you in the comments below. If you pulled any great rares and legendaries, let me know as well on how those helped you out. I'm excited to hear about it. I wish you luck at your future pre-release or sealed event, as well as may the Force be with you.